thing is entirely too heavy. What's going on, guys? It's Darian back with another video. And today we have the B2 Audio 09 Osprey. Side note, this is not your grandma's amplifier. Let's get the thing unboxed. If only I could have 4 of these. Let's begin. Oh, what do we have here? Loads of styrofoam. Won't be needing that. A box of some sort. More styrofoam. What is this? We get a birth sheet with this amplifier. So let's see, this specific one, 3082 watts at 4 ohms, 5518 watts at 2 ohms, 8780 watts at 1 ohm. This thing's pretty dynamic. Something to also note is the date it was tested, the voltage it was tested at, and we get a signature of who it was tested by. Something you don't see in every amp. We got more stuff. Product manual. We have some, looks like mounting hardware and Allen keys. We have a sweet "It Can Never Be Too Loud" sticker. That's pretty cool. And of course, the user manual that nobody cares about. I don't want to take this out. More styrofoam. Oh look, more styrofoam. All right, now we're gonna get to the good stuff. Oh my God, this thing feels like 30 pounds. Oh God, I can only imagine what 4 of these weigh. I don't think you guys understand how difficult this is. I mean, like, it's not my amplifier. I want to be careful with it. I also don't want to scratch the table. Just like, come on. Oh, this is giving me so much trouble. What if I go like this? God. And this, ladies and gentlemen, is the B2 Audio 09 Osprey. This thing is not light by any means. First impressions, this thing is heavy. Impression number 2, we have 8 1-aught inputs, and they're stacked in a manner that makes sense. We have ground, ground, positive, 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 ground, ground. You heard that right. 4 positive, 4 ground, 8 total 1-aught inputs. Somebody comment down below how many strands of wire that is. In this little box, can't forget about him. We have what looks like to appear a bass knob and a bass knob controller cable. All right, we gotta do the inaugural twist turn. Oh, that's nice. That's super nice. There's just enough resistance in this thing to make sure that you know exactly where the knob is gonna be after you take your thumb off of it. We have a voltage readout, we have a B2 logo on here, we have a power light, we have a clip light. On top of the knob, we have 2 holes for the included mounting hardware. On the back of the knob, we have the B2 Audio logo and the remote input for the bass controller cord. Now real quick, what's your demo style? Do you like having the knob all the way up and then just turning up the volume to increase everything at once? Or do you like have your volume set where you're gonna play and then you slowly turn it up? Say you pick your favorite song and you know when the drop's gonna come. You're looking over at your passenger and they're like bobbing their head. They're like, yeah, yeah. And you're like, there's more. And then you turn it up a little bit more right before the beat drops. And then you look at your passenger again and they're just like getting their rocks off. They're enjoying themselves. They're smiling. Their hair's going everywhere. And then a fraction of a second before the bass drops, you rail on that thing. And then you look over and they're just losing their mind. Their hair's everywhere in the window. They're looking at their friends telling them to come over here. They're smiling. They're laughing. That's my style. Moving back to the subject of matter. I gotta show you the back plate of this amplifier. It's really, really cool. All right, there's a lot going on here. Let's dive in, let me show you. So first of all, this back plate is recessed underneath all of the mounting feet, ensuring that there's gonna be ample enough airflow for this 09. In addition to the recessed back plate, we'd have what you typically see, some venting for the bottom of the amplifier, but what you don't normally see is A, 4 fans, and B, this is actually a push-pull system. So 2 of these fans are sucking air into the amplifier, and the other 2 fans are pushing air out of the amplifier. You don't have the saturated heat just sitting on all the components. It will move air in, through, and out. And what's really cool about that is you can adjust those settings on the side of the amp. Let me show you. All right, so moving on to this side of the amplifier, there's a lot going on here. Let's take some time to dive in. Remember that setting I was telling you about the fans? So there's actually a switch right here, and you have 3 different positions. You can have the fans off, you can have the fans switched to the middle for thermal, to where this amplifier will use its best judgment to kick on the amplifiers when it thinks it's needed, or where I would leave it would just be on. And over on this side of the amplifier, we have a power light, we have a clip light, and we have a protect light. We have all the Tiffany style RCA inputs. We have a gain, subsonic, low pass, phase. We also have a master and a daisy switch here. If you're running this amplifier by itself, you want to make sure that this switch is switched to master. And then if you want to daisy this to another amplifier to have even more fine tuning of your gains, make the switch to daisy. And now you have the capability of fine tuning your gains more with this input right here. Over here we have the remote input for the included bass knob. We have a remote in, and we have a remote out. You'd want to use the remote out if you're going to be using the daisy option. And over here we have our speaker inputs, positive, positive, negative, negative. Now when I show you the other side of the amplifier, you'll see why they're laid out like this. All right, so moving on to this side of the amplifier, what we can see here are 8 1-aught inputs. We have a ground, ground, power, 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 ground, ground. Now something you won't see in a lot of amplifiers, but what you will see in this 09 is this type of layout alongside 8 1-aught inputs. Not only does this make your life easier, it'll also make your install look much more professional. Reason being, you're not gonna have power, ground, power, ground, power, ground, power, ground. All of your grounds are on the outside and all of your powers are on the inside. So when you feed your wire into your amplifier, you're not gonna have a bunch of mismatched colors. Honestly, I think this is how all amplifiers should come. I'm not sure why they don't, but this one does. Now you may be wondering if this amplifier is going to fit in your ride. I mean, by the looks of things, it's pretty huge. But let's find out exactly how huge it is and see if this guy can actually live up to what he's talking about. So it's your first day. This unit's length, 25 3/4 inch unit in length. And she has a girth of 12.5 inches. We have a height of just under 3 inches. I'd say 2 7/8. Now you may be wondering who this amplifier is for. The operational voltage of this B2 Audio 09 is 9 volts to 16 volts. At 1 ohm has an 8500 watt rating. At 2 ohms it has a 5900 watt rating. And at 4 ohms, 3400 watts. Now what do all those numbers mean? It means that this thing is gonna be able to take care of any type of situation you could ever put it in. This amplifier has very dynamic power, meaning it'll put out big numbers even at the higher ohm loads. So say you're wired at 1 ohm rising to 2, you're still gonna get 5900 watts out of this thing. Say you're wired at 2 ohms and you rise to 4 ohms, you'll be getting 3400 watts out of this thing. Say you're at 1 ohm and you wire this thing at 16 volts. You can just imagine the type of power that you'd be getting out of this thing. Now, who is this for? This isn't for your average user. This is definitely more on the extreme side of things. This amplifier is an example of extreme demand that delivers time and time again. Again, we have 8 1-aught inputs. We have 4 power, 4 ground. We have a recessed backplate with plenty of venting with a push-pull fan system to make sure that this amplifier is gonna stay cool at all times. We have a switch on the side to control those fans. It comes with an included bass knob with voltage readout and a clip light. We also have a clip light on the amplifier itself. And with every 09, you know exactly what you're gonna get. Make sure to bring a friend and help you mount this thing, because this thing is not gonna be easy by yourself. Just imagine mounting 4 of them like this. Not necessarily the most efficient way to do things. This thing's gotta weigh 35-40 pounds. I don't know. It's heavy enough that you don't wanna hold it out in front of you. This product can be found at Skyhighcaraudio.com, either in stock, ready to rock, and we're just waiting to put your name on a shipping label. Thank you guys for checking out the video. This is the B2 Audio 09 Osprey. This thing will give you more than what you expect every single time. I'm gonna go put this in my bedroom. Go, Daddy.